Every day I talk to a restaurant owner who is struggling with one thing: their sales. They need more revenue. You need more revenue. Well, today I want to talk about what we are seeing in the restaurant industry as a whole and help you understand what it's going to take in 2026 and beyond to grow your sales. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Matt Plapp. I'm the CEO of America's Best Restaurants. And like our name says, we work with restaurants just like yours. In fact, we work with thousands of independent restaurants across America. But today I don't want to talk about what we do. I want to talk about the industry and what you need to be doing. The other day I was talking to my dad about the restaurants we ate at all the time as a kid. You see, I was really fortunate. My mom and dad were in the insurance business. They had a lot of restaurants insured. And so we spent a lot of time at those restaurants. In fact, there were a handful that were our go-to. That got me looking at a map. You see, 30 years ago, the landscape was much different. And the map I'm about to show you really illustrates it. This is my neighborhood. These are the restaurants we spend a lot of time at. Number one, Barleycorns, a place I still go to today. Number two, the River restaurants. In Northern Kentucky on the Ohio River, there were a handful of restaurants like Mike Fink's that we went to all the time. Chi-Chi's. In fact, Chi-Chi's was one of the only chains that we went to all the time. It was in Florence. It was a cool thing. It was probably back when chains were cool, when they weren't everywhere. We'll get to that later. Walt Hitching Post. I just had a steak and ribs there 2 weeks ago. Dixie Chili, Pasquale's, right across the street from each other. In fact, Friday nights in high school, I would get kicked out of Dixie Chili for being too rowdy. We'd go across the street to Pasquale's where my parents were at. It was all in fun and games. We were the kids you probably didn't like. And then number 7, 8, 9, it walks through some of the different restaurant areas. But long story short, there were about 10 to 15 go-to restaurants in about an 8-mile radius in Northern Kentucky. Now I want to zoom in a little. This is one little corner on that map. This is where I live in Union, Kentucky, which is on the south part of this map. I moved to this neighborhood 10 years ago. There were 2 restaurants on that little corner. Today, 2026, there are 22 restaurants. In fact, 18 of them are chains in that little area. They live in my head rent-free. These brands are everywhere, and they weren't anywhere 30 years ago. Yes, we're accustomed to the big brands like McDonald's and Taco Bell. Those have been around forever. But the landscape is much more crowded today. Close your eyes. Drive down the street you grew up on, from your house to your restaurant, from that restaurant to the local mall. Think about the restaurants on your right and left. You're probably going to remember 30 years ago, a couple. Now open your eyes and look at it today. They're everywhere. There's more stoplights than ever, and there's more restaurants on every corner. And there's Chick-fil-A's down the street from you with a line out into the street. I think we all would agree. These chains do not have better products than you. They do not have better services than you. But they are kicking everybody's butt because they have a way bigger footprint, they have a lot more money, and their brands are much larger than yours. To hammer home this fact even more, I'm gonna go with a brand that we've likely all seen, Chipotle. I remember 30 years ago when there was only the Chipotle in downtown Cincinnati. Hell, I thought it was some mom and pop. Now today, there are 11 just in my area. In fact, when I leave my house to go to the office, and then my office to go to the gym, I pass 8 freaking Chipotles. You can't compete with that. The mind share they have is insane. The branding, the advertising money, they live in our head rent-free. So you've got to ask yourself, what does that mean for the future of your restaurant? 25 to 30 years ago, yes, there was McDonald's and Subways and Starbucks. But today, there are so many freaking chains and franchises. A couple opened up in that little corner of Union the other day I've never heard of. I'm in the restaurant space. How in the hell have I never heard of that? Because there are so many. So today, I want to talk about what's plaguing your restaurant. It's not your food, it's not your service, it's not the love that the customers have for you. It's the lack of attention that you have. Barleycorns, Dixie Chili, restaurants I still go to this day. The last time I had to wait for a table, I couldn't tell you. You walk in, you get seated because they're not busy. Why aren't they busy? Like I said a minute ago, they don't have the attention of their customers. Restaurants today go by hope and pray. You hope Matt Platt remembers your restaurant. You pray he comes here when he's hungry next time. Hope and pray worked for Barleycorns when they were one of 5 restaurants in a 5-mile area. Now they're one of 5 restaurants in the same block. Hope and pray is not gonna cut it. You have to have aim and expect. You have to be able to aim at a segment of the population and expect an outcome. And we're gonna dig into exactly how to do that today. But first, we gotta get on the same page. This is me down in Key West, Florida. Prop my feet up, get on vacation. My wife pulls her phone out, snaps a picture of the beautiful beach scenery. But what am I doing? I'm on my phone. I'm doom scrolling. A couple days later, we're getting on the airplane. I look down at the baggage handlers. What are they doing? All 3 of them on their phone. A couple weeks later, I'm in Las Vegas, getting ready to speak at a conference. I look out, the dude is by the pool, cleaning it for about 30 minutes on his phone. I was watching him so intently because I was hoping to get a video of him dropping his phone, to be honest. A couple minutes after he gets done cleaning the pool, I look to my left. There's a guy 4 floors up working on the canopy of the Circa Casino, and you guessed it, on his phone. And then if it doesn't get any better, I'm walking back into my hotel and there's 2 guys laying carpet. Well, one of them's laying carpet, the other one is on his phone. And you've all seen this scene play out in your dining rooms. That's my son Cole and I enjoying Mexican. Behind him, everybody on their phone. In fact, consumers today check their cell phones 144 times on average. I like to ask this question when I speak at conferences. Is anybody confused? Are any of us delusional on where our customers' attention is? Because you and I as entrepreneurs, we're the same damn place. We can't put our phone down. We got like a tick going back and forth from our pocket. We know where our customers are, but we're not getting their attention. Today, I want to talk about how to build an attention plan, how to strategically aim and expect an outcome, how to build an email list of people who know, like, and trust your restaurant, aim at them with a campaign, and expect an outcome. But more than aiming and expecting is understanding the opportunity today and how to use it. The word social media, put a line down the middle. Get rid of the media. Think about social. Too many of you are treating Facebook and Instagram like you did Valpak and Money Mailer back in the day. The rep showed up, you created an offer, you blasted it out. You think because Facebook and Instagram are free that you can just throw anything you want up there. The problem is nobody's looking at it. Nobody is on Facebook and Instagram to see your coupons, to see your commercials. They're on there to be social. So you've got to learn how to use the platforms so that you can take advantage of them. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, email, messenger, text, the internet. These are the 7 places that you must dominate your customers' attention because you can't dominate them on the street. We already covered what Chipotle has that you will never have. A massive footprint, a massive advertising budget. You have to have a massive attention plan. That's why we created the 3 commandments of ABR. Attract, build, retain. Attract attention with your marketing, build relationships with your marketing, and retain your customers. All advertising is all about attracting attention. The difference in this equation is the middle. We want to build relationships. Relationships start with data. You have to know who your customers are and how to contact them, like email, texting, messenger. And the last part is really key. Retaining your customers, but also retaining their attention. If you get their email once and then blast the heck out of it and they stop looking at it, you have failed to retain their attention. Loyalty programs are a great example. Those are built to retain your customers' attention. So you've got to think about your entire attention plan revolving around ABR. Where do I attract attention at? Where can I build relationships at? And where can I retain their attention? Well, there are 3 places. Inside your 4 walls and your community, online, and through social media. If you have a plan in place to make sure that people out in your community and inside your restaurant know who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it, then you'll dominate. If you have a plan to dominate the internet, your website, different third-party sites, your Google listing, if you have a plan in place to make sure that that's cohesive and people can easily do business with you, you will dominate. And last but not least, If you find a way to use social media how the big boys can't, you will dominate. And that, my friends, is the key and leads me to my next part. I want you to become the GOAT when it comes to marketing your restaurant in your community. In my world, the GOAT is Michael Jordan. Might stand for something else for you. But I want you to think about what it would take for you to become an institution. But more than that, what is it that you have over Chipotle and Chick-fil-A? Yeah, I think we all agree you have better food. Service, probably pretty comparable. But there's one component you have they don't have. It's you. Swanky Scoop, the owner, is all over social media, but she's not on there selling ice cream. She's on there selling their brand, selling her team, having fun. Jake from Cornerstone Pub and Prime, again, he's not on here selling burgers, cheese curds, and wings. He's on here selling himself, selling the team, selling the vision. Capuano's, another great operator in Ohio, up in Columbus. They're not on here selling food. They're on connecting with the community. They're connecting with the local band. They're highlighting their employees. They're doing things to put their name in the community to create a brand that is something that Chick-fil-A can't do. And again, you got another owner here killing it, Jack from Blasioli's up in Ohio. Jack is involved in the community. Jack is always highlighting his team. And what Jack is doing, like these other owners are doing, is creating a brand for him. You have to differentiate yourself in marketing. You're never going to have the footprint or money that these massive chains have. But Chipotle will never have a Jack. That is your opportunity. That is your chance to get the attention back, to connect with your community, and to grow your restaurant in 2026 and beyond. Make sense? Because you don't have a problem with your restaurant. You don't have a problem with your food, with your service. You've got a problem with not having your customers' attention. When I started to think back to 30 years ago and what that restaurant footprint looked like in Northern Kentucky, and then I opened my eyes when I drove to the office the other day and looked around, I was astonished. It happened so gradually. We all saw it happening. When you put it on paper and realize what was 10 to 15 restaurants then is now 150 to 200 now, it's no wonder you're getting your butt kicked with sales. But it's time that you take back your market. It's time you get the attention you deserve. And I want to end with this one question. What would it look like if you increased your sales by 23%? This is a question I ask restaurants all the time. Let's say you're doing $1 million and you could grow over the next couple years to 1.2 million. What would that $200,000 extra do? It would probably be life-changing. It would allow you to recruit higher level employees, to finally get out of the kitchen on Friday and Saturday night, to finally pay yourself what you're worth. But more than that, it would give you the breathing room you need. And I'm here to let you know, more attention is all you need. You need to attract more attention with your marketing. You need to build deeper relationships with your database. And you need to retain your customers' attention so you can retain their money. You're never gonna have that footprint that Chipotle has in your community. But you can have that footprint inside your customer's phone. You can live in their head rent-free via email, text, messenger, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can get the attention you deserve where it matters the most, the device we all spend our time on. Now I want to make an offer to you. Do you want help? Do you want to understand where you currently are and what the opportunity is? Go to mattplapp.live/audit. Take our simple attention audit. I know from dealing with restaurant owners just like you, it's not about care, it's about know-how. It's about a map. We have created a free tool called the Attention Audit, and it's really simple. You go there, you answer about 20 questions, and you get a score. The score gives you an idea of where you're currently at. The average independent restaurant in America gets a 28 out of 100. But here's the exciting part. That is your competitors as well. So if you take this test and you are about a 30, know the people down the street are the same way. And also know that it's not hard to go from 30 to 60. It's simply a matter of practicing the 3 commandments of ABR. So I hope this brought some value to you. When I was talking to my dad about the restaurants we visited, and then I started to reflect on that footprint today, it scared the shit out of me. It made me concerned for you because you're never going to compete financially with Chipotle's of the world. You're never going to compete with the footprint they have. But it also excited me because they suck at using this device when it comes to marketing. You don't. At least you don't have to. So go check out the audit, take it, find out where you are, and hopefully you'll get some hints and some tips on how to go to the next level. That's all I got. Talk to you next video.